You think you know Family Feud. You think after 14 years of American contestants saying the most unhinged things imaginable, after naked grandma, after potato, after a man suggesting his wife was the broken thing in his house, you think Steve Harvey has seen everything. He has not seen everything, because Family Feud Botswana exists. And the people of Botswana, with their energy, their confidence, their complete willingness to say absolutely anything into a microphone on national television, have found brand new ways to break Steve Harvey that nobody in America ever managed to discover. Today, we are breaking down episode 12 of Family Feud Botswana, RD2 versus Yarona FM, the episode that gave us what might be the most clutch fast money round in game show history, one of the most chaotic romantic mood questions ever asked, and Steve Harvey doing things on a Botswana stage that his American audience never got to see. Let's get into it. How Family Feud Botswana became its own legend. Before we get into episode 12 specifically, let us talk about what Family Feud Botswana actually is. Because this is not the American version with a studio audience in Atlanta. This is Steve Harvey in Botswana, on African soil, with Botswana families who have been surveying 100 Botswana citizens, not Americans, on questions about their lives, their culture, and their very specific opinions on things that American Family Feud would never think to ask. The result is a show that feels both completely familiar and completely fresh at the same time. Steve Harvey is the same Steve Harvey, same suits, same walk, same face when someone says something he was not prepared for. But the families, the energy, the answers, and the moments are entirely their own. Family Feud Botswana premiered in February 2025. By episode 12, which aired on April 27, 2025, it had already produced moments that people across Southern Africa were talking about for weeks. Here is what happened. Moment 1. How do you set the mood for a romantic night indoors? Steve Harvey reads the question. Name something you would do to set the mood for a romantic night indoors. Now, this is a question that exists in every culture on Earth. The romantic evening. The candles, the soft music, the nice dinner, the dimmed lights. The universal human language of, I have put effort into this evening and I would like you to notice. Except the people of Botswana, when surveyed on this exact question, had some additional opinions that Steve Harvey had not anticipated. The face-off answers came in with the expected ones: music, candles, cooking, and then someone on one of the teams buzzes in with an answer that caused Steve Harvey to do the thing he does, where he processes the information with his face before his mouth catches up. He looked at the contestant, he looked at the audience, he looked at the board, he processed whatever had just been said to him about romantic mood setting in Botswana, and then he delivered a response that had the studio audience completely gone. Because Steve Harvey's greatest gift is not his one-liners, it is the 3 seconds of silence and facial expression that comes before the one-liner. And in that studio in Botswana, those 3 seconds were worth everything. Moment 2. The Yarona FM team gives an answer about marriage that Steve had to sit down for. The Yarona FM team, radio station representatives bringing the full energy of Botswana's most listened-to frequency to this game, proved in this episode that being in media does not protect you from saying something on Family Feud that you will be hearing about for a very long time. During one of the face-off rounds, a Yarona FM team member stepped up to the podium with visible confidence. This is always the moment. The confident approach, the settled posture, the expression of someone who has already decided they know the answer. And then the answer comes out, and it is something that exists in a completely different category from what the question was asking for. Steve Harvey turned to look at the rest of the Yarona FM team still standing on the side of the stage. They were already distancing themselves. That specific kind of distancing that happens when a team member says something and the rest of the team's body language says simultaneously, "That is not from us, we do not know this person, we have never met." Steve Harvey started laughing before he even processed the answer fully. Because the answer combined with the team's reaction created something that no writer in any television room could have scripted. This is why live game shows exist. Moment 3. The most clutch fast money round that has ever happened, and now the moment that the official Family Feud Botswana Highlights channel described, in their own words, as potentially the most clutch fast money round that has ever happened on this show. The fast money round. 20 seconds. 5 questions. One contestant answers alone. The second contestant, having heard nothing, tries to make up the remaining points needed to reach 200. This is where Family Feud becomes genuinely dramatic. This is where contestants who played the whole game with confidence either become legends or become the person whose answer everyone talks about for the wrong reasons. What happened in episode 12 between RD2 and Yarona FM's Fast Money Round is the kind of moment that keeps people watching game shows, even in an era where they can watch anything they want on any screen at any time. The points, the pressure, the clock, the second contestant walking in not knowing what had already been said, and then what happened when the scores were revealed. Steve Harvey has hosted hundreds of fast money rounds across multiple countries. He has seen the full range, from complete disasters to last-second wins that nobody saw coming. And when this round finished, his reaction told you everything you needed to know about what had just happened before he even announced the result. Because Steve Harvey's face is the most reliable narrator in television history. And in that moment, in that studio in Botswana, his face said everything. Why Family Feud Botswana is must-watch television. But Family Feud Botswana is doing something different. It is taking the same format, the same Steve Harvey, the same podium, the same fast money board, and running it through the specific, unique, completely its own energy of Botswana families competing for a prize that means something real to them. And the result is a show that feels both completely familiar and genuinely new at the same time. If this video showed you something you had not seen before, subscribe right now. Every single week on Steve Fun Moments, we bring you the funniest, most chaotic, most extraordinary moments from Steve Harvey's career across every version of this show in every country it has ever filmed. Drop a comment. Are you watching Family Feud Botswana? Because if you are not, you need to start. I will see you in the next one.